Hi guys, I'm in Hong Kong. You can see Hong Kong right here. Hong Kong is right here. This is Hong Kong. Hong Kong. So welcome to Hong Kong. I'm going to give you some tips about Hong Kong. The tip about Hong Kong. Okay. The first is don't use the metro in Hong Kong. So use the metro in Hong Kong. If you're going multiple trips to Hong Kong, if you're going to multiple trips in Hong Kong, like in one day, then buy the adult pass, it's a one-day tourist pass, which is like 65 Hong Kong dollars. But if you're not going multiple trips on the same day, like if you're not going maybe 3 or 4, then it's not worth paying for. Just buy a single entry. A transit system is it's really good. It's very good. The staff members speak English. You can tell them where you want to go, and they be able just go to a customer service representative in every station. You can ask them where you want to go, and they speak English, or they'll tell you where you want to go. For example, if you want to go to the Peak, or if you want to go wherever, they'll tell you. So they'll tell you it. Another second tip is on food. McDonald's is very cheap. You can get like for 25 RN, 25 Hong Kong dollars. It's actually the cheapest. But if you don't want to eat McDonald's, you can go to cheap Hong Kong restaurants. Go to like Mong Kok, Sham Shu, I think it's Sham Shu, I can't say it. But there's some local Chinese restaurants here. You pay like 32 Hong Kong dollars. I know Mong Kok and Jordan is where you can find, and Yamata, you can find some cheap Shim Sha Po, I think. You can find some cheap local restaurants. Usually at 32, you usually get rice, vegetables, and meat, and you get like a drink. Try out the drinks. I recommend the drinks. You try out, like they have like tea, like Nestle cold tea, or you can have cold milk tea, or you can have hot tea, milk tea with your dinner. Yeah, there's another tip about the food. The food here is a lot expensive than in mainland China. It's a lot expensive. Mainland China is cheaper for food. You can get a lot of food in for the same price. You can get a lot more food in mainland China than in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is very expensive for food. But there you could go find cheap places by going to say a Chinese restaurant. Going to a local Hong Kong restaurant. Or going to McDonald's. Those are cheap places to go. Another tip. So that's a tip about food, so saving on food. Yeah, hotel. Stay in a hostel. Stay in a hostel. Hostels are cheap. Try to go with multiple people, friends. If you can, go with friends or family in a hostel. So hostels are a very cheap way. You could book your hostel. Book hostels. Hostels are cheap. Yeah, so they're very cheap. Hostels are very cheap. If you need Wi-Fi, there's there's Wi-Fi, public Wi-Fi, so you can use public Wi-Fi. Like in McDonald's, they have Wi-Fi, and there's a lot of places that have Wi-Fi, so try to use Wi-Fi. So you don't have to use mobile data. You don't have to use mobile data on your phone and spend a lot of money. There's everywhere. There's free Wi-Fi everywhere in Hong Kong. There's free Wi-Fi in Hong Kong, so you can basically go to McDonald's. There's a lot of McDonald's here. You can go to KFC. So you can go to McDonald's, KFC. You can go to McDonald's, KFC. A lot of places. Starbucks. You can go there as well. You get free Wi-Fi. You can get it, so you don't need to use mobile data. What it can say? And the beauty of Hong Kong is that you can use Facebook and YouTube. That's the beauty of it. So you don't need VPN, unlike mainland China, where you need a VPN, and it doesn't always work, even with a paid VPN as well. But it's very beautiful here. So that is I recommend. I recommend. So you don't need to get a VPN when you go to Hong Kong. You can use Facebook. You can use your YouTube, your Instagram. You don't need to worry about blocks or anything. Hong Kong, it doesn't like Hong Kong loves YouTube, they love Facebook, love Instagram, so you don't need a VPN. Yeah, another tip about Hong Kong. You should go see the Peak. You should see the Peak, the tram. You should see Victoria Harbour. Do a night cruise on Victoria Harbour. See the lights shine. Yeah, and then see, and then you know there's a lot. And then try to walk around the city like I do. Like get lost. Just get lost in Hong Kong. Just get lost. That's the fun part. Now I have to be. This is a follow up. Okay. Pay attention about the protest. Pay attention to ask the people in Hong Kong what's the current status of protests, where they're going to be held. I recommend stay away from the protests, and let me explain why. I recommend. I know you're like intrigued. You're like probably looking. Oh, I want to go to that protest. It looks so much fun. Don't do that. Okay, it's for your safety. The police will try to arrest you, even though you mind your own business. Okay, they'll assume that you're part of the protest, even though you're not. You're just walking on the street. That's why I recommend you stay away from the protests, right? Because they will mistaken you as part of a member of the protest, even though you're just walking and just looking around and visiting all these tourist attractions, right? So be careful. That's why I recommend ask people in Hong Kong, or which areas can you go where there won't be any protests, where it'd be safe for you to walk around and to explore, you know, get yourself lost. Because I recommend getting lost, but they'll tell you what places you could do, where you can walk as a tourist without having to worry about the police falsely arresting you for something you've never done. You're just walking around, because they will arrest tourists. Sorry, it got really cold. And they'll arrest tourists. They will arrest tourists and foreigners. Yeah, there's one person that told me they actually arrested an Australian guy and Australian person because even though even though the person didn't do nothing wrong, and he's just a tourist, they arrested him. So stay away from the protest, even though you're tempted to do it because you're probably, I've never been on a protest. I would recommend that to stay away from as much as possible. Unfortunately, New Year's Eve, so that's why just watch the news. Google it, Hong Kong, where they're going to be. So be aware of the protests before you go anywhere. Know where the protests are going to happen. Ask the people in Hong Kong. Ask the hostel, hotel or hostel, whatever. I recommend, ask the representatives there. Where are the protests going to happen? Ask them advice of where to go to in order to avoid the protests. They'll help you a lot. In fact, they're better than Google because they know Hong Kong very well. They pay attention to what's happening. But you can also Google as well. But the best advice is to ask the people in Hong Kong where to go, where it's safe, and they'll give you tips on it, but I recommend still go to Hong Kong despite the protests. In fact, because of the protests, things have become cheaper. Hostels have become cheaper, and hotels become cheaper because of the protests. So protests are made the things hotel accommodation a lot cheaper. So actually, this is a good time to go. So I hope you like this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And again, welcome to Hong Kong. So welcome to Hong Kong. It's a beautiful city. I still recommend it despite the protests. I still recommend you come here. Just be mindful, just be aware of these tips. And again, another tip I have to give you is be careful of scams. Some people approach you and ask you to, oh, here's a hotel, come to this hotel. Or they ask you this ticket and they ask you to buy something. Just ignore them. Whenever any person, you just ignore them, right? So whenever you, just ignore them, right? So if they tell you, oh, come to my hotel, you want to stay here, or if they tell you, to buy this thing, just stay away from it, just stay. The people here in Hong Kong are very friendly. They're very nice. They're very patient. They're very nice people. They'll tell you you could just basically, if you have any troubles, like you want to go to this place and you're like lost. For example, you need to know where the train station is. Where is the train station? Then you can ask the people there for help. They're very helpful and friendly. They're really relaxed. They're really happy. And in fact, if you're a foreigner, they really like talking to you. They really do. They're really nice people. They're really helpful. They help you out. They'll tell you where to go, where to see in Hong Kong, where are the safe places to go, where are the good places to go, where are the cheap places to go, you know, where you can find cheap food, where you can find where attractions should go, which attractions should not go. Yeah, they are very nice. They're very relaxed, happy. They'll tell you where to go. If you don't know which station to go, they'll help you out. Yeah, the people here are awesome. The people here in Hong Kong are very awesome. Yeah, and yeah, the people here are awesome. I think did I leave it? Did I leave anything out that I wanted to say? Yeah, and just, you know, relax, enjoy Hong Kong. Don't get stressed up with the protests. It's a cool city. It's really nice. Nice weather too. It's a bit chilly, but it's still nice. Better compared to, say, Canada or in the northern part of the U.S. or even England, where it's so cold, or even the northern part of China like Beijing, where it's so bloody cold, where it's so cold. I can't even believe you have to probably wear two jackets, maybe 3 pants. It's so cold, and it's like I don't like the weather here is better, still way better. So it's good too. But this is a good time to go to Hong Kong because things are very cheap. And again, it's safe. Just avoid the protests. Be aware of the protest, where the protests are going to happen. You know, and that's my tips for Hong Kong. You know, I hope you enjoy your trip in Hong Kong, and bye for now. And here's Hong Kong again. Hong Kong, baby, awesome city. Hong Kong, Shunguan Wan Chai. I think it's called Wan Chai. So bye for now.